So I was reading this legal case recently, and it blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
It was from the 19th century about a tariff law. And basically, a clerk wrote fruit, plants with a comma instead of a hyphen.
Right.
And because of that one single mark, the meaning just completely shifted.
Yeah.
Imports that should have been taxed suddenly weren't.
I know exactly the one you're talking about, the fruit and plants case. It ended up costing the U.S. government something like, what, $2 million?
$2 million.
Which, adjusted for inflation, is just a staggering amount of money for a grammatical error.
Exactly. All because of a comma. It sounds like a joke or, some kind of urban legend, but it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And it really highlights something we usually ignore, which is that punctuation isn't just decoration.
Not at all.
It's not just the sprinkles on the cupcake of language. It's the structural integrity of the cupcake itself.
It's the infrastructure. I mean, if you think of words as the bricks of communication, then punctuation is the mortar.
That's a great way to put it.
It dictates how those bricks hold together, how the structure stands up, and whether it's, a safe place to live or just a pile of rubble.
And that idea, the literal collapse of reality from missing punctuation, that is exactly what we are unpacking today.
Right.
We're looking at a source that, well, it kind of masquerades as a children's adventure, but it's actually a pretty sophisticated crash course in how we make meaning.
It's called The Mission Monkeys and the Portal of Punctuation.
And it's fascinating because it basically gamifies linguistics.
It does. Instead of giving you a dry rule book saying Rule 4, use a question mark here, it creates a simulation. It shows you the physical consequences of a world where those rules are just gone.
It's like the Matrix, but for grammar.
For a little bit, yeah.
So let's set the stage. We start in the Library of Laughing Leaves, which I just love as a name.
It sets a whimsical tone for sure, but it also establishes the setting as a place of preservation. Libraries preserve order.
Right. And in this library, we have our heroes, the Mission Monkeys.
Mila, Mick, Mia, and Milo.
They're exploring, and they find this hidden section behind a bookshelf marked Punctuation for Beginners.
Which is, let's be honest, the section everyone walks past. But here, that neglect has consequences. They find a glowing purple swirl.
The classic portal. But the interaction with it is what really caught my eye.
You're talking about the banana test.
The banana test.
Right, so Mech, one of the monkeys, he doesn't just jump in. He's smart. He wants to test the physics of this thing.
So he pokes it with a banana.
And this is where it gets interesting. The portal doesn't just block the banana. It doesn't fall through. The source says the portal slurps it.
Slurps. Such a great verb.
It's crucial. Slurps. It signals that this isn't just a doorway. It's a vacuum, an active force that consumes matter. And as we're about to see, it consumes logic.
It creates a vacuum of meaning.
Exactly.
So the banana is gone. The stakes are set.
Yeah.
Then a flashing scroll appears with the mission. Now, I want to read this because it's surprisingly high stakes. It says, enter the portal of punctuation, find the missing marks, fix the sentences, save the storybook worlds.
Save the storybook worlds. That's the thesis right there. It's saying that stories are these fragile ecosystems. If you strip away the structural rules, the punctuation, the story itself creates a chaotic, unlivable environment.
And Milo, I really identify with Milo here. He's just so pumped. He yells, finally, a quest with exclamation points.
Of course he does. Milo is pure energy. He's that urge to express, to shout. But the lesson he's about to learn is that energy without structure is just, well, it's just noise.
You can't just have the exclamation point. You need the sentence to support it.
Exactly.
So with the banana sacrifice to science, they dive in. And they aren't just visiting different places. They're visiting different grammatical concepts made real.
They are entering a deconstructed sentence. And the first stop is the comma jungle.
Right. And when you think of a jungle, you think of tangled vines. It's hard to move.
And the source describes the trees here as whispering run-on sentences.
Which is just a brilliant metaphor for cognitive load.
Well, think about what a run-on sentence does to your brain. When we read, we don't read letter by letter. We read in chunks. Commas mark the boundaries of those chunks.
So if the commas are gone, the chunks just disappear.
Exactly. Your brain is trying to hold on to the beginning of the sentence while it's frantically searching for a place to rest, but the near information just keeps piling on. It's exhausting.
The example the trees are whispering is just,
Ugh.
it's a nightmare to even say out loud. We swing through the vines, eat bananas, sleep in hammocks, play tag with parrots.
I felt my blood pressure rise just listening to you say that.
It's frantic.
It creates anxiety, and the source says the trees are physically tripping over their own words. That's it. It's clumsiness. Without the comma, all these distinct actions blur into one chaotic event.
Vines eat bananas suddenly becomes a real possibility.
The horrifying one, yeah. So Mikuk, the practical one, he shouts, "These trees need to pause. They forgot their commas."
Pause. That's the key word.
It's the physiological function, right? When we speak, we naturally pause to breathe. The comma is just the written version of that breath.
So they fix it with magical comma coconuts.
Keeps with the jungle theme. But think about the physics of it. A coconut is a heavy, solid object. You throw it into the stream of words, it forces a stop.
And the result is immediate. The corrected sentence is, we swing through the vines, eat bananas, sleep in hammocks, play tag with parrots.
And just listen to the rhythm change. It goes from a panic attack to
Wow.
almost a poem.
Yeah, it has a cadence. The trees sighed in relief.
That's it. The comma provides breathing space. It separates the items in a list so they don't blur together. It restores order.
It's the shelves you put the clutter on to make it look organized.
Great analogy. It's the difference between a hoarder's house and a curated display.
So the jungle is sorted. A grammar sloth gives them a nod of approval.
The sloth is the patron saint of the comma. Slow down, take your time.
He directs them to the next danger zone. And this one feels psychologically unsettling. They arrive at the quicksand of questions.
This is where the story shifts from pacing to purpose.
The sand is bubbling. It says it's bubbling with confused sentences.
And they're confused because they don't know what they are.
The examples are, where is the treasure map and who stole the glittery socks?
Yeah.
But they're just flat.
Exactly. Imagine I walk up to you and just say, flat tone, where is the treasure map?
It feels aggressive or robotic, like you're stating a fact I'm supposed to know.
Yes. Without the question mark, it loses its function. It becomes a statement. Who stole the glittery socks? That sounds like an accusation, not a question.
And that creates the bubbling uncertainty. You don't know whether to answer or just stand there.
That's the quicksand. In conversation, there's this kind of social contract. If I ask a question, I'm handing you the ball. It's your turn.
But without the signal,
I'm just holding the ball and staring at you. The contract breaks down.
so you sink into the awkwardness.
You sink into the ambiguity.
So Milo, our high-energy friend, he digs into his backpack and pulls out these glowing question
And
marks.
he just tosses them into the air.
And the sentences catch them. Where is the treasure map? Who stole the glittery socks?
And look at how the environment reacts. This is my favorite metaphor in the whole story. The dangerous quicksand turns into bouncy jelly.
Bouncy jelly. Why bouncy?
Because a question bounces. It's a return mechanism. A statement is heavy, it just sits there. A question bounces the interaction back to the other person.
That is such a good way to visualize it.
It creates momentum. It turns the quicksand into a trampoline.
Okay, so they bounce off the jelly, but now they're heading to the most volatile location yet, the exclamation volcano.
And this is where the disconnect between reality and language gets, well, it gets really funny.
Oh, absolutely. So you have a volcano, it's booming, there's smoke, it's dangerous, but the sentences coming out have zero energy.
It's the ultimate mismatch. The volcano is spewing, "Watch out, lava is coming," and the dragon just burped.
Like a casual observation. Oh, look, a burping dragon. Anyway,
Mila gets it immediately. She says, "This needs drama."
she's right. But let's think about drama as information. In a survival situation, tone is data. If I whisper fire, you might think I'm talking about a candle. If I scream fire, that volume conveys urgency, threat level.
So the exclamation point is the volume knob.
It's the volume knob, but it's also an emotion label. It tells you how to feel about the information.
So Mila throws one at the first sentence. "Watch out, lava is coming."
Now it's a warning. Now it's useful.
And then Mila fixes the dragon situation. The dragon just burped. And the source adds a boom sound effect.
The punctuation added the sonic impact.
It did. And the volcano itself transforms into a roller coaster made of punctuation jelly beans.
It turns fear into excitement.
And that's often what an exclamation point does, right? You scream on a roller coaster and it's fun. You scream in a library, it's panic. The punctuation contextualizes that high energy.
Right. It really shows how without that little vertical line and a dot, you can't convey intensity in text.
Yeah.
You're just droning on.
Precisely. We've all gotten that text that was meant to be exciting but came off as sarcastic.
The passive-aggressive period, it's a real thing.
It is. The exclamation point is the antidote to that digital coldness.
So we've had the pause, the bounce, the drama. Now they head to the period planes,
Described as stretching on forever.
which sounds exhausting just thinking about it.
It is. They find the endless sentence.
The source gives us this monster. The dog ran, it jumped, it spun, it laughed, it fell over, it barked.
Just listening to it makes you tired. It's relentless.
Mia says what we're all thinking. Somebody give this sentence an NAP.
And that is such a profound insight. A nap, periods are rest stops.
We usually think of them as a stop or an end,
Yeah.
but you're focused on rest.
It's cognitive rest. Your brain takes in a concept, and you need a split second to consolidate it, to file it away before you can take in the next one.
So the period is the sound of the file drawer closing.
Exactly. Without it, the drawer stays open, and you just keep shoving more papers in until it jams. That's cognitive overload.
The planes stretch on forever because without a stop, there's no horizon.
You're just on a treadmill that goes nowhere, meaning needs boundaries.
So they toss magical period pebbles, they break the stream, the dog ran, it jumped, it spun.
So much punchier.
It has rhythm.
It has structure. Now you can picture each action. First the running, stop, then the jumping, stop. It gives you control.
And the planes transform into a sparkling dance floor.
Because now there's a beat. You can't dance without a beat, and a beat is defined by the silence between the notes. The periods provide the silence that lets the language dance.
That's beautiful. The grammar fairies show up and cheer.
See? When communication flows effortlessly, it feels like a party. When it's broken, it feels like quicksand.
So mission complete, the portal reopens, spins them back to the library. The scroll confirms the storybook worlds are saved.
But we can't end without the pun.
We cannot. Meat, looking very proud, says, that was a sensational adventure.
Ooh, I felt that one.
I know, the source says everyone groaned, but it proves he gets it.
That's a very generous interpretation of a dad joke, but I'll allow it.
Okay, so let's recap the tools. We have commas,
For lists and breathing space.
question marks,
For engagement, for that social contract, the bounce.
exclamation points,
For urgency and emotional context.
and finally, periods.
To stop, to provide closure, and create that rhythm.
It seems so simple when you list them, but as the story shows, if you take them away, you don't just lose rules, you lose reality.
That's the big takeaway for me. We tend to think of punctuation as these arbitrary rules teachers force on us.
Right.
But this story argues something different. It argues that punctuation is the architecture of meaning. It's about building a world that other people can navigate.
It's about empathy, really. Using a period is a way of caring for the person reading your words. You're giving them a map.
Exactly, an act of clarity. You're saying, I want you to understand me, so I'm going to build this sentence in a way that is safe for you to walk through.
So here's a thought for you to take with you. We're all communicating constantly, texts, emails, messages. If you view your daily communication like these landscapes, where are you creating quicksand by missing a question mark?
Or where are you creating those run-on jungles for your coworkers by just failing to pause?
Are you building a dance floor or a volcano with no heat? That's the challenge. Check your punctuation portals, everyone. You might just save a world.
Or at least a meeting.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
See you next time.